Hi, today is talk about buying a used car. Now when you buy a car is a broad subject, right? And the reason I talk about buying car, it's not mean I fix car and I don't have experience about buying car. I was in the sale business more than 6 years, selling car, new and used, Toyota, Ford, GM, Honda. Never sell Jeep and Dodge and Chrysler, but used car, pretty much the same. Today is about buying a used car. I do have experience for new car, financing car, and all that stuff, but today's subject is focus on used car. How do you looking to buy a used car? Sometimes we looking to buy a used car just because people, having a car like that and you like it. And sometimes that car is pretty much not a good running car. A lot of trouble in that car, and we don't know about it, So those is not what I'm going to focus on. What I'm going to focus on is how to look for a car that will worth your money. Okay? What I mean worth your money. A used car is different value than a new car. New car is manufacturer suggest retail price and have a invoice, which is close enough to what they say a dealer price when they bought it from the manufacturer. But that is not the true case. Invoice is just a starting price that you can bargain from, and retail is manufacturer suggest retail. But on a used car, we don't have that. So we base on what did you call it? NADA? Forgot what the NADA stand for, but that is another used car source that we try to pricing. And the other one is KBB, or they call Kelly Blue Book. That's what we're using that to guiding our buying guy. But not just that. Sometimes a used car is not based on those KBB value, because such as a classic car that there is very limited amount that you can find out there, such as like Toyota Supra Turbo or the Acura NXX. At the mileage and condition is very tough to find the one that KBB will be say how much, and owner will not be willing to sell as low as or as much as the KBB says so, because KBB just a source, they cannot sell the car to you. So just leaving that point. So I will using this one as a guideline for me to explain to you that how to find a good used car. On this right here is 94,000 miles, and the year is 2012. This is not the platinum, or it's not the King Ranch, or it's not the limited or whatever, or the FX4, but this is the 4x4 XLT. The reason I buying this one right here because I like the bench seat. Okay, the bench seat is you have 3 people in the front and also 3 people in the back. And not just that, I'm looking for a 4x4 and also the V8. That is my focus on. Okay, a lot of this is a 6-passenger with the leather, with a 6-cylinder supercharged. So any of those, I'm not interested on it. That's why I look into this one right here, and take me about over a month to get the one I want it. So I will take my time to look as much as I can to see what is the market out there. Okay, I was looking Toyota Tundra to have a V8 5.7 and 6 passenger, so I cannot get 6 passenger. Mostly would be 5 passenger. They put the center is a console, so the price is over the price, because Toyota at this mileage like this one and the year 2012, you're looking at 15 is the low and 21 is high. So forget it. So I'm not rich, so I can't afford that. I look at Chevy, same thing, that much money, so I just forget it. Okay, and then I found this one right here. It's a F-150 with a 5.0 Coyote engine and with a 4x4 4-door 6 passenger, almost white color outside, but it's not, and I have a gray color interior. Is exactly what I looking for. So let me show you the detail about the car. So first thing, when you go look in the used car, if you go to the seller address, don't start the engine. Open the hood. Okay, check the dipstick first thing first. Okay, and then check the radiator cap. Radiator cap is lots of time is right on the top here, but on this one is right here, so a little bit different. Okay, make sure there is no other like creamy on the cap or the oil cap. Okay, for example, if you look in a used car and you open the oil cap, you will find it have a lot of stuff in there. Okay, because the older car and having a lot of issue, and they put like a chemical to stop leaking or something like that, and it will show in the radiator cap and the oil cap. For example, if you have a leaking internal of the engine, you can show in the oil cap. Okay, now on this right here, the detail the engine, so you don't know it's leaking or not, you know. But lots of time a new car tend to not have any leaking, but look under the car, look on the bumper, all that stuff to see all the leaking. Okay, now the reason I picked the V8, does not have a lot of power as the 6-cylinder, the 3.5 or 3.6, something like that, 7. And that one have more power, more torque, more than this thing here. But I don't like a small man with a steroid, so that's why I don't buy the supercharged or turbocharged on that one. Okay, I'd rather have the good American V8 on it, so it doesn't take steroid to have power. You know, it just take natural expiration. And if you want to add supercharge on it, it will be plenty more horsepower. You know, but this is a lot of power. 355 horsepower and over 370 foot-pound of torque. That is almost anything. The engine is one of the most important. Transmission is the second to that. If without these two, the body on the chassis is useless. Okay, now let me close that. Let's go to the body. Now old car like this, you will have a lot of chip. I don't know, my camera can see, but you can see all this chip right here. Okay, now why you have chip on it? Because people spend time on the road. You know, you cannot have a perfect car without no chip. Okay, so little thing like this, you don't mind on it, because people using it, the mileage will match all this stuff here. Is a perfect match. Okay, what you're looking at is to see if any repaint on it. Okay, repaint is a professional paint job, is very hard to tell, but lots of time you can tell by using your finger run through the edge of the paint here, and the hood, same thing, run through this right here and run through the hood, same thing, use your finger on it. Okay, use your finger on it, run through all this. And if you see any, like a, what do you call, not smooth. Okay, if not smooth, then you automatically know that they repaint it. Okay, they automatically repaint it, because when you repaint it, you can paint this smooth as you can, but not right here. You can sand it, you know, but it's not as good. And also looking through right here with the gap between the cushion and the paint, if I paint overlay on this or any on the mirror, you automatically know that this is repaint. Okay, so when I look in this truck, the whole truck, I will not see any of those. Okay, and I cannot feel any like not smooth at all. Okay, when I look in it, all of this have no overspray, none. Okay, dent is normal. Okay, normal for truck, because a work truck. But like this one right here is almost perfect condition, almost perfect condition. Maybe a little scratch here and there. Okay, I have a sample of, he just bought the vehicle and it doesn't show in Carfax, and he didn't even know until I pointed to him that your car is be repainted. So this is like overspray. If you look in it, normally if an OEM car will not have an overspray. And plus you can see all this, it doesn't matter how good we taping, if you don't take this out, then you will have an overspray. Now this car, if you're looking far, it's almost perfect. And if you look in the car, you will not see any dents on it, you will not see any frame damage, and if you feel by hand, it's smooth like a egg. But if you're carefully looking at it, you can see overspray right there. Overspray, it doesn't matter how good we taping, if you don't take this out, and that's why you see that this is overspray. So that means it doesn't matter how good the body shop, if they don't take those out and they try to tape it, and that's how we can tell that the car is been repainted. And you see this light right here, overspray right there. Hopefully my camera can catch. And also coming to the antenna right here, there's an overspray right there. Okay, they should take this antenna out because it's so easy, just go underneath and take this out, but they didn't. They rather tape it. And when you take this, and you cannot paint everything, and you can see overlay the new one and an old one right there. So that means this car is being painted, the whole car, because the back here overlay, this size over here is overlay paint, and this door right here. And normally if you put your hand through like that, you can feel the painting. Okay, so and you look at right here by the door, and you can see that the old and new paint, the new paint starting to peel a little bit because they didn't put the clear coat on it. So that's why this car, if you don't carefully look in it, you cannot see by a naked eye, because the profession of the painting on this car is almost perfect. And to not be a professional looking at, you won't be able to see it. And this fender here is like perfect too, but when you look in here, the S2000 sticker is been retaping, and they're not careful enough, and you have so much gap that you can't see through. But if you look in the side here, you won't see it, but when you look at down, you can see that gap right there. And also the fender here, such a perfect too. You can't really feel by scratching your finger, but if you look in here, there's overspray little bit right there. And all of this is, you know, have overspray. And also the undercover here, wheel cover, and also new. So they put a new one, so you can't even tell that like a new car, because this is a 70,000 miles. Is a very low mileage car. So if you're not careful enough, this car is perfect car, matching with the mileage, very good. Okay, but they did not do everything as perfect as it should be. But according to Carfax, the buyer said it's not showing any accident. There's no frame damage, and you can see the radius support is straight like OEM, and even this right here, straight. Nothing is bending, nothing is push out, push in. Normally this right here is, if the owner is replacing it, then you won't be able to see. But the main frame here, if an accident that hitting this right here, then you should have the frame down there should be damaged, but the frames are perfect. And this is OEM. They still have this Honda OEM air conditioning sticker right here, and everything is still OEM. So the car being painted, it could be something hit the bottom and tearing down this two plastic cover right here, the wheel cover. That's what they replaced new. And let's go under the car. When you go under the car, this is the OEM, and that is new. You can see that the two colors different. Okay, and same things here, and this is new. And you can see that they wheel rest right here, because Honda, they don't do this kind of wheel rest. Okay, and they replace it. They even forgot a screw that holding right there. Okay, that is another one over here. They forgot it right there. So when we go look for a used car, you don't check the car like this and to look detail, but to have a car look in detail is the paint job, that you should be able to tell is a repaint or not, you know. But at this detail here, this is a professional painting here. If for a regular guy that just not know anything about body shop and repair, probably you won't be able to tell, because the car's such a perfect. And if you look inside through here, everything is lined up just like OEM. And you know, if they don't replace this right here, I will say this car, just because the heating fading the color and then they paint it. But just because these two are new, it could be something hit at the bottom, and that's why they replace this two piece of glass plastic here, and then they paint the whole car. And then inside here, the leather's pretty good, you know. So this is 2004, so it's about 16-17 years old car. It should have some wear and tear like this for a normal 16 years old car. And mileage 68,000 miles. So the steering wheel is pretty decent. So this can describe that the car is matching with the mileage. Unless the steering wheel is pretty worn, then that can be changed. Just recalculate the cluster here. Nowadays the technology, you can plug it in your computer to it and recalculate your mileage, all that stuff. But this is very decent car for the mileage, is that pretty matching with this. And the engine's the same thing. I'll show you the engine. From the top of the engine is still have Honda alternators. They have everything is OEM. So this is very close to the mileage that it's showing in the car, except the paint job that it does not have the original. If this car is the original paint job, they will be a perfect car. Other than that, even though with the aftermarket paint job on it, still look fantastic car. Okay. And here's another car that one of my friends, he purchased this car not too long ago with a low mileage. This will tell you why the mileage doesn't match with the truck. This is a 2007. Okay, that mileage right there, it does not describe the vehicle. Why I'm saying this? Because this odometer is being recalculated or being replaced the cluster to get this mileage low. And you come to a seat like this, you can see that all the cushion is buried to the metal. Okay, this type of seat is very sturdy. Now until the seat going to be like this, the driver had to be a 500-pound or more sitting in this seat all the time. If a person who weighs about 160 to 200 pounds and driving for this type of vehicle for a low mileage, let's say that this is like under 90,000 miles. Okay, under 90,000 miles, Toyota Tundra. Okay, it won't happen like this. It won't happen like this if your car really a low mileage. Now, to be able to tell this low mileage, you can see all the interior and the steering wheels. Look at how worn out the steering wheel is. Okay, now this person must be driving a lot and using this steering all the time. So that's why you can see all this worn out. Okay, let's continue to my truck and finish the rest. Okay, and you can see that the truck is very decent condition, and then you can tell that this truck is a spray, but it's not a lot of damage. So you know that it's not a lot of people using it, so it's not abusive. Okay, truck normally people will throw a lot of stuff in there, carry a lot of rocks, sand, whatever, and scratch the floor here, and dents the floor here, and dents the wall right there. Okay, so all of those are the abuse of the truck. This rack carrier is not come with the truck when I bought it. When I was look for a truck like this, and a local guy in town here have one truck like this, and I tried to make deal with him, and he not selling the truck to me, and somebody else bought it, and he took this rack out. So when I bought this truck, and I went back to him and offered him this rack for $140. So I think that's a good deal. I think it's a good deal. The reason I like this rack because it's a short bed, and without this rack you cannot carry anything long enough than 8 foot. Okay, so that's why it's a plus to have a rack on it. Let's get to the exhaust. Now if you look in a car, you see water like this, okay, that is normal, and that is a good sign. Okay, that's a good sign. Anytime you see a car that have a lot of black in here, oh man, you can tell that the car is not burning right. So that's why you see a lot of black. And this one is crystal clear and not a lot of black at all. Okay, and water is drip like this mean it is good truck. If without water here, it's too hot, don't buy it. Because when you have water inside here like this, I mean the tailpipe is catalytic converter and all that muffler, all that stuff is still good because it have a good condensation up and upper here. So that's why you have a lot of water drip from here. This water is not leak from the engine. It's condensation from the catalytic converter and muffler. So you have this water. This tire is not come with the truck. I found this tire when I got the truck, and it's the same F-150. They sold this to me for $380. Okay, 380, and it's almost brand new. You can't buy an 18 or like this for 380, and this set is around $700 or $800 plus. Now let's come to the interior. Okay, the interior is depend how many people using it. If like this one right here, I would say a man or a woman's truck with a dog. Okay, when I say that, because I see that this truck has been detailed, but I can see like dog's hair right here. You see that little dog hair right there? Okay, that's nasty. You know, people are like dog. They put dog inside here. You see that? Oh my God, look at that. But I don't mind. I can clean it, you know. Look at this. Very decent, very decent. There is no tearing at all, even though they have an animal inside here, and the seat is still very solid, okay, very solid. Why I say that? Because it sounds like people don't sit in the back here, at least just like the dogs sit in the back here. And you can see that my floor here, the carpet here, is absolutely no stain at all. They might be detailed, but I don't see like people eating in here and got all the stains on it. Not just the seat. And you look in the ceiling, and the ceiling is no stain. Okay, no stain at all. Okay, now not just the back seat, let's go to the front. You can see that the passenger has seat a little bit, because you can see that me squatting down and some stain on it. Okay, so that means people spend time in the front more than in the back. It could be dog pee right here, I'm not sure. Okay, got a couple stain, little bit right there. Hey, it's a used car. It cannot be perfect everything. So a car like this, a truck like this, it is supposed to be dirty. It's supposed to be used. So I don't mind. Okay, but everything will match the mileage, because 90,000 miles truck, it should have dirty, it should have scratch, it should have chip. Okay, there is more way to looking at a used car, used truck. You test drive the car, right? You see the car, you test drive. Make sure there's no bumping noise, like when you drive to bump and they're like, oh, like your truck like body falling apart like that. What else I need to cover? Okay, AC, engine sounds, transmission shifting, all of those have to be equally to the body, the chassis, the suspension, the mileage, the steering wheel, the seat. All those have to be match each other. If you're not satisfied with that, one more source you have to pull is the Carfax. Carfax does not always give you the information. Carfax is another private party that will register anytime dealership or any shop that they are registered to, maybe Carfax or whatever. They will send that information into Carfax or whatever, and they will register the mileage. They will register like what service they've done to it, and then you have those source for it. Let's say that okay, this car been hit, then they will report it in the insurance to fixing it, and that will show in Carfax. Now Carfax is expensive today. Not like used to be $20, $30, $15 per 15 day or like that. Now it's like 30, 40, 50 to $60, $100 if you subscribe on that. So hey, you just want one time use it to buy a car, why you have to pay so much for something, just a little source, you know? But that to save your side that, okay, I want to spend $10,000 $20,000 for a used car. Is that any history on it, you know? So it's good to use it. Okay, it's good to use a Carfax. So it's like I mentioned Carfax a lot, but let's say the S2000 Carfax doesn't show. So that is, you know, like you pay something that is not worth it. I would say using information just like providing that your eye and your feeling of your fingertip had to be checked the car thoroughly, you know. And I like I said, you have to check and recheck. It's better than a Carfax sometimes. For myself, when I bought the F-150, I did not use a Carfax, but I will check to make sure everything is matching before I buy it. And when I look about those 2012 F-150, right around like 90,000 miles to 150,000 miles, the price is about 11,000 to 18,000, depend what trim level. And when I bought mine, it's only 11.3. You know, I would say that's pretty decent for a low mileage with everything is matched. When I bought that, and I feel that not regret with the money that I spent on it. And even though I using that truck for maybe like 4 or 5 years from now, and that truck still carry value at 8,000 or more at least because of 4-wheel drive. Another point that I want to share is, let's say that if you buy a car over mileage, but it's new. Let's say you buy a 2020 with 100,000 mile versus a car that with 50,000 mile and almost 20 years old. Which one I'd rather buy? For me, a daily driver, I would say I'd rather buy the newer one with a lot of miles. Why? Because a lot of miles, it doesn't have weather destroy the vehicle. Your rubber boot, your plastic interior, your engine, all those stuff is still new. But the older car with the less mileage, you don't know that odometer been replaced or the odometer being, you know, unplugged, and the car has been sitting for longer than it driving, and the weather is destroy almost everything. You know, your shock, your interior, all those plastic is been, you know, dry out. So when you put that car in daily drive, that car will have a lot more problem because aging, you know. So I'd rather have a newer car, more mileage, than an older car have less mileage. Unless you want to keep that car as a collector, then hey, older car with less mileage would be the best. But for your daily driving, buy the more mileage with newer year. Okay? So hopefully this information helping you to buy your new car. This information, I know it's a long video, but hopefully if you have time to watch the whole thing, that will helping you to buying your next new car. Doesn't matter you buying a used car. I want you to spend the money that worth your money. Okay, it's not you spend $20,000 and you $30,000 and you got a car that repaint, or you got a car that been accident and being replaced, you know, control arm and some other stuff that not worth your money because you don't know. Someone that fixed the car under pocket, not through insurance, and that car is not showing your Carfax, and you are buying a car with no source of knowledge of how to looking for the information, just like what I show in this video, and that is a screw, you know. Hopefully my video will point some of good information for you to find your next new car, and you will have the every single penny that you spend on that car is worth it your money, because it doesn't matter if you buy it from the dealership, or it doesn't matter where you buy from a private party. Nobody know the history, and then you the one fault that don't have the source and close your eye and buying things that you don't even know. And hopefully this video helping you, and please don't forget to subscribe. And you know, a lot of time I said, when you say thank you to me, it's the same thing as you subscribe to my video. Even though you don't watch my future video or in the past video and you subscribe, that's the same thing as you say thank you. And just keep your subscribe in my video. Maybe in future some good video will pop up to your need. Okay, all right, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye bye now.